Got any intentions for the trip?
To make it to Road's End.
I mean, we could make it to Road's End by end of today. The trail's right over there. Those are the best intentions.
What are your intentions?
I want to move quickly and safely over the terrain each day. I don't want to quit in Independence.
I won't let you. Don't worry.
Unless it's really, really bad.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. I have a good feeling about this.
We are starting at Lodgepole, and we're going to go basically counterclockwise because it's pretty much a loop. End at Road's End, and then hitchhike back to our car here.
All I'll just say is, chee-hoo!
You mean excuse me?
Chee-hoo is something you would say like before jumping off a cliff or like sending it hard, you know? So I think we're about to send it pretty hard. So I gotta say chee-hoo.
Chee-hoo then.
Chee-hoo.
I would say my main goal is to work on and improve my navigational and off-trail terrain efficiency. Because this is a pretty tough route. It should be slower going terrain overall than the Sierra High route. So we're gonna need to keep up a pretty good pace just to through hike it at all, especially given the lack of easy resupply options. So what I want to try to do is bring some of the efficiency that I had as a through hiker to a high route. But despite these goals, still got to remember to enjoy it because we're going to be traveling through some really beautiful country.
Oh yeah, right at the top. Nice.
First pass on the route. Great view behind me, the way we came up, and an even better view looking forward.
Yeah, there'll be some sweet ramp scrambling here.
Ramp scrambling.
Ramp. Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, so this is definitely harder for me because my pack is fatter.
Don't talk about your pack that way.
As we progressed through grand, wide-open spaces, it was easy to appreciate how much ground we had covered.
Look how far we've come now, baby. Contour.
Over every rise and around every turn was something new and ever more spectacular.
Alright, so standing on the Kings Kauai Divide. And that means we have officially reached the tableland section. That also means we're about to do a really cool and exposed ridge walk, which, as the guide mentions, is not extremely common in the Sierra. So normally I would be really stoked about this, but if you look above me, you can see why I may not be stoked about that.
But it's nice over there.
Doesn't help us. First little rainstorm.
The Wind River High Route.
All
over again. Except this time we got way more space.
Way more space. Yeah, so we're going to just have dinner early because we're already stopped, and I think we need a break anyway. And we'll see what this does. Take 2. Post-rain. We came from way up there. Yeah, it kind of makes sense why they call them tablelands.
And I guess that's why they call it tablelands.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Time for the ridge walk.
We made our way across the expansive tablelands, in awe of the panoramic views. It was one of the most beautiful places I had been in the Sierra, and the light was just perfect. As day one drew to a close, we found ourselves in a mad dash to get to camp with some daylight. No such luck, as our tired legs protested the 6,500 feet of climbing we had done that day.
We've got probably less than an hour left of light.
We ended up camping to the left of that pointed mountain in the middle of the frame, just under the following morning's pass.
How we doing?
Day 2. The stiffness and back pain has set in.
Well, the good news is it only gets easier from here.
That's true. Yesterday was a hard day.
Yesterday was pretty hard.
Yesterday.
6,500 gain.
Yeah, we were up above Lonely Lake. Next objective is that thing right there, Horn Call or Lonely Lake Pass. Last night we got here super late, like not really late.
Later than we wanted.
8:45, something like that. Today will probably not be easier.
Tell me it would be easier.
It'll be easier. Today will be easier, much easier. Probably the easiest day on the route. Goodbye.
I don't like feeling like I could go and bounce off into space.
You wouldn't bounce into space, you would bounce down the slab into the talus and
I noticed Radio's cough as we were packing up that morning, but didn't think much of it, and our first pass of the day went without issue.
made it up to Horn Call. From here, we sort of contour-ish over. We found the old mining trail that's going to lead us to Copper Mine Pass. Here's the mine. It's
Yeah. You could get in there for sure.
seems a little bit sketchy. Here's a couple of small artifacts and bits of copper from the mine. These are the remains of an early prototype of the Z-Pax duplex, circa the late 19th century. Yep, we came from Horn Call, which is right there.
Another 100 feet to the top of the ridge. Contour, hopefully be done with that pass and headed down within an hour.
Yeah.
Making decent time so far.
Yep. Not a bad view.
Not a bad view.
I didn't know it at the time, but the top of Coppermine Pass was our last high point of the trip. After walking through this valley, we started up our next climb. As we neared the top, I noticed Radio's cough had gotten worse. He suggested it could be from altitude sickness, though I was skeptical having spent plenty of time with him at altitude on past trips. In any case, something was just not right, a feeling only amplified by our remote position. After a long break, we decided to push on and see if his condition improved. It did not. We then entered a seemingly endless trap of indecision, deciding to quit, then turning around and deciding to continue, maybe 10 times, repeating the same stretch of 100 yards over and over. Neither of us were willing to accept bailing. Not only was it our big trip of the year, but the bailout was long, 25 miles to the nearest trailhead. We were out there. Eventually, we came to our senses and realized that continuing was too risky, so we began our hike out to Road's End, discouraged and defeated, but knowing we had made the right call. We camped near a trail junction and on day 3 hiked 23 miles out, descending 7,000 feet with stunning views of Kings Canyon. As we descended, Radio's condition thankfully improved. We hitched back to our car at Lodgepole and drove back to the bay. Meanwhile, I had decided I would return and try to solo the rest of the route. I made a plan, and Radio was kind enough to lend me his car. I pushed back my flight, and 2 days later drove 5 hours back to the Sierra. I got my permit and camped near the Road's End trailhead. But in the morning, something was wrong. I couldn't do it. I was physically fine, but I had no motivation, something needed in great quantities to complete such a route. Was I scared to do it alone? Was I sad about what happened? Maybe I was just tired. I'm still not totally sure, but I left feeling pretty bad. On the way out, I stopped to see the sequoias. I had never seen them before. I didn't want the drive to be for nothing, and those giant trees helped me feel a little bit better.